adventure for me. Like, my last airplane flight was particularly memorable. Not because of where I went, but what I learned while my airplane was still on the ground. This particular flight was a business flight. Lots of professional travelers who had been there and done that. I was probably the only person on board who paid any attention to the safety demonstrations on the flight attendant. When she pointed out the emergency exits, I found out that I had a choice of exits on over either side of the wings. I made a mental note that in case of an emergency, I would go for the exit across the aisle from me. I chose that exit because of who was sitting next to it. He was a beefy-looking guy. I chose him over the guy sitting next to the exit on my side of the plane because on my side of the plane sat a pot-bellied guy who looked a little out of shape. So I figured that the beefy guy would get his door open a little bit faster in case of an emergency. But what drew my rapid attention was the oxygen mask demonstration. In a likely event of a sudden loss of cabin pressure, individual oxygen masks will be lowered from the compartment overhead. The procedure for putting the mask on and place the elastic strap over the head seemed to be relatively straightforward. And I was confident that, in case of an emergency, I was pretty sure that I would be able to breathe all right. But then, the flight attendant said something that changed my life completely. She said, adults with small children should put their own mask on first and then repeat the process for the child. That kind of struck me as odd. So I turned to the business traveler who was sitting next to me, who was pretty much busy preparing his sales presentation, and I asked him, why is that? Excuse me? The guy didn't even slow down his writing. He obviously hadn't heard a thing the flight attendant had said, so I repeated my question with a little bit more detail. I asked him, why is it that the adults with small children should put their own mask on first? Doesn't it make more sense to put the mask on the little kid first? Nothing. He just kept writing. Now, mind you, I wasn't traveling with any children. I don't have children. The chances of me traveling, the chances are very good that I will never travel with children. The answer to the question probably would never even affect me. And this frequent flyer next to me probably thought that I was wasting his time and mine asking a question that made no difference to anyone. But I was intrigued. Why would a mother let her little kid go without oxygen? That just doesn't make any sense to me. I had to know. I was about to repeat my question to the guy when he finished his paragraph and he was writing and said, if the adult doesn't take care of himself first, he might pass out and then neither one of them will get any oxygen. Oh, yeah, right, I never thought of that. Obviously, he said, and resumed writing. We never exchanged another word on that flight, but his answer did struck with me. If the adult doesn't take care of himself first, he might pass out and neither one of them would get any oxygen. You know, he's not just talking about emergency oxygen. He's talking about the true Christian humility. I always thought that the Christian should have his selfless devotion to duty. I still do. But if I say yes unquestioningly to every opportunity for ministry without any moderation, I run the risk of running out of oxygen. When that happens, neither I nor the people I'm serving will get any oxygen. If I don't take time out of my day for people reading and prayer because I'm too busy, or if I don't take time regularly for rest and relaxation, I won't be as useful to people I serve. I'll be depriving us both of oxygen. You know, I think that's pretty good advice for a frequent flyer.